In this video, we're taking a look at Robot Monster, a 1953 sci-fi oddity where the villain is literally a gorilla wearing a diving helmet with antennas on its head. Yes, really. And before you ask, no. There's no explanation. The future is confusing and apparently very into mixed metaphors, but here's the thing. This beautifully weird disaster has some actual humans behind it, and their stories, way more interesting than the bubble machine. Look, Robot Monster is aggressively ridiculous and easy to mock, and it's fine if you do. It's practically a rite of passage. The monster is Ro-Man. Ro-Man is a gorilla in a space helmet, operating a ham radio bubble machine, doing very serious alien communications. His mission? Destroy all humans. His vibe? Middle management having a really bad day. Robot Monster looks like someone dared a film crew to make a sci-fi epic using whatever was already in the garage. But the real fun is the hustle behind it. An indie 3D grab made fast, made cheap, and somehow turned into a legit box office win. Shot in a handful of days on a tiny budget and pure optimism, it rode the early 1950s 3D craze. The monster looks ridiculous because the movie wasn't really about the monster. The 3D was supposed to be the star. In 1953, the 3D was going to save cinema. Spoiler, it didn't. Turns out, when your gimmick is depth perception and your monster is a rental gorilla costume, audiences remember the gorilla. Robot Monster is fascinating not because it's bad, though it is magnificently bad, but because it's a perfect snapshot of Hollywood eating its own. It also shows what happens when a system values spectacle over people, and how some people get crushed in the process. Also, there's so many bubbles. Let's talk about the director, Phil Tucker. Phil was 25 when he made this movie, and after the movie's release, Tucker became the punchline. Reports describe disputes over money, credit, and control, followed by a suicide attempt that became part of the film's legend. This is the part that gets quietly skipped in So Bad It's Good conversations, because it's fun to laugh at a movie. Because yeah, the movie's funny. The gorilla helmet is objectively hilarious, but the guy who made it, he was a real person trying to make something work in a system that treated him like a disposable lighter. You can laugh at Ro-Man all you want. Just maybe don't forget that someone's actual life imploded over a gorilla suit and some bubble machines. It's less fun to sit with the fact that someone tried to make something work inside a system that didn't care if they survived it. Robot Monster didn't just fail forward, it left scars. And that's not unique to the 1950s. It's a pattern that still feels uncomfortably familiar in today's creator economy. Now let's talk about George Nader, the movie's leading man. On screen, chiseled jaw, heroic posturing, the emotional range of a very handsome filing cabinet, classic 1950s action hero stuff. Off-screen, Nader was navigating Hollywood as a gay man in an era when visibility could quietly end your career. It meant refusing to play the fake girlfriend publicity game. It meant not cooperating with the illusion. He just didn't. And that mattered, and that took guts. The 1950s sci-fi playbook had very specific ideas about masculinity. Strong, stoic, straight, and completely uninterested in examining any of that. Studios sold a very narrow idea of masculinity in 1950s sci-fi, and Nader played the part on camera. Off camera, he was living in a reality the genre refused to imagine. So when you watch Robot Monster, just remember it stars a guy who couldn't actually exist in the future Hollywood was selling. Why the movie still matters. Here's the strange thing. Robot Monster believes in itself. For all its flaws, Robot Monster treats its nonsense seriously. The bubble machine is scored like Judgment Day. The music swells like we're watching the fall of Rome. Ro-Man gestures dramatically at his bubble machine like he's conducting a symphony of doom. The dialogue insists this matters. That sincerity is pure sci-fi DNA. Science fiction has always been about asking big questions with janky tools. Sometimes the spaceship is a cardboard box. Sometimes the alien is your cousin in a rubber mask. Sometimes the robot is a gorilla who seems confused about his job description. But the trying matters. Robot Monster is a time capsule of a 3D craze, a ruthless Hollywood production system and the human cost, rigid ideas about identity, and one very stressed gorilla suit. Laugh at the gorilla suit. Robot Monster is a beautiful disaster, a fever dream built around a rented gorilla costume and pure audacity, a monument to the phrase, "we'll fix it in post." They did not fix it in post. But it's also a reminder that even the silliest movies have real humans behind them, some of whom got crushed by the weight of a system that valued spectacle over people. So laugh at the helmet, enjoy the bubbles, but maybe appreciate the weirdness too, because movies this strange don't just happen. They're made by people trying to survive, create, and maybe, just maybe, pull off something special. Even if that something is a guy with a gorilla suit who looked at a diving helmet and a bubble machine and thought, yes, this is how I conquer Earth. If you want more dives into the world of classic sci-fi, the movies, the chaos, and the people who made them, visit liquidtwist.com. We're here for the uncomfortable truths hiding under the rubber suits and plastic ray guns.